Hi, JoAnn Schinderle here with Keep Oregon Well campaign. We are in the Wellness Zone at the Skype Live Studios with members of Old 97's. How are you guys doing today?
We're awesome, thanks.
Awesome. We're so excited to see you guys.
I'm Rhett, and that's Ken over there.
Hello. So we've been doing these interviews to help raise awareness of keeping, your mental health up and running and going, there's a lot of, as musicians, right? You guys put your heart and your soul into music. What do you do in your personal lives to keep your heart and soul going, just as much as you dump into your music? What do you do in your personal lives?
Well, for me, music was definitely a thing that came along at a time during my adolescence when I had a lot of questions about, what was even the meaning of life?
Right.
Was it worth continuing and all that stuff? And music was, for me, was a lifeline. And I found a lot of purpose in music, and I found a lot of sort of the reason to keep going in music. And now Ken and I both have teenagers. So it's like this whole next generation of watching people struggle with, identity. And just sort of, it's hard to be a human being. The human condition is struggle. And so I've thought a lot about it. I mean, I know for me, when I was 14, I had a suicide attempt that came really close to working.
Wow.
Clearly, I'm glad it didn't.
Correct.
And I've done a lot. For a lot of years, I didn't think about it. I didn't talk about it. And then in the last few years, especially since I've become a parent, I've done a lot of work with the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
That's amazing.
And then there's an organization out of Texas called OK to Say that's destigmatizing, mental health. And I really think that we've entered an era where kids are a lot more likely to reach out if they're struggling.
Yeah.
I hope that's the case. And I'm glad for the work y'all are doing.
Yeah, and that's what this conversation's all about, is just to reach out and let people know that there is help out there. They're not alone. CARE's right around the corner, and to be comfortable with talking about it. Thank you so much for sharing that. Does that experience in your life kind of transfer into your music as kind of cathartic?
Yeah, I think about it a lot, just because I think, if music is the sort of the reason I found to keep living, that's a lot of importance, So I've tried not to approach it frivolously. I know music is inherently sort of frivolous. You're out there having fun. You're giving people an excuse to dance and drink and mate or whatever. So, I feel like I've always tried to take it seriously as a craft, and I've really tried to be grateful for it because of what it's done for me in my life. And now I'm able to feed 2 kids and, pay a mortgage with music, and it's just so crazy that I've, my dream as a 13, 14-year-old kid has become a reality. And I do think that when you're 13 and 14, it's easy to lose track of just the hope that's out there. Like, you can sort of get caught up in the negative cycles, and just spiral in them. And I try to remind my own kids, and then the kids I run across, and then even the younger musicians that are just starting out, and it's much harder to start out, I feel like, now than it was even when we did, just that there's a lot of hope, and all it takes is just hard work and keeping a positive attitude and just looking for the good in all the situations.
Absolutely. Do you guys have kind of tips and trades to give to young musicians starting out that may be wanting to have as a successful career as you guys have had with road traveling?
You got one?
With road traveling or with all of it?
Just all of it. Yeah. This lifestyle is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, and this is it's a thing you probably don't want to hear, or maybe you do when you're young, there's a lot of luck involved. Not in our personal experience as much as with the magic person hearing your band and making you a megastar. I think that's a myth that comes from things like American Idol. It does happen, but it's 1 out of 250 million people.
Sure,
right. And you shouldn't, it's, in our case, meeting each other.
Yeah.
Because really all of our lives were kind of going kind of nowhere, and we all met. And within 3 years, we were on top of, we were the biggest band in Dallas, where we're from.
Absolutely.
Everything was amazing.
3 years, that's not that long of a time
to
reach that peak.
And we did work hard. We made good music. Those things happen. But have we not met each other, it may not have ever happened.
Yeah.
It just could have been yeah, they're a pretty good band. They're from here. You know, those guys are pretty good, but you would never reached outside of the Metroplex
Right.
area.
So you guys as a band have just this tight-knit support system, kind of like it's a second
We've had
family.
the same force since the beginning, and
Yeah.
this particular week is very bizarre because our drummer got hurt last week.
Oh, no.
He had a really bad accident. He was in the hospital. Not a car accident. He fell and busted his head. So our drummer is different. Is our friend. He's our normal guitar tech. He's a great drummer, but it's different. It's a little different.
Oh, I imagine,
but
yeah.
it's still. I mean, it's been the same for us the whole time, and this is what we do. And
That's
we're in this
amazing that
band.
like the stars aligned in that regard.
And I think in the context of what we're talking about, for me, I started writing songs at 13. I did my first gig at 15. But it wasn't until I was 23 years old and met these guys that it really started to work. And I was trying every day of those 10 years. So I feel like when you're young and when you feel like nothing's working, you know, just remember that there may be, you know, you may be due for some luck. And, you know, it's a silly thing to hold out hope for, but it's true, you know, it's good things happen. And
It's
all you
not
got to
silly.
do, yeah, you just, all you got to do is just be there and accept it and be, you know, have an open heart and an open mind. And,
Right.
and then once it happens, don't squander it and be grateful for it. And, you know, and for us, we've been a band for almost 25 years. And, you know, the main question we get in interviews is, how have you guys been a band for 25 years when other bands always are breaking up? And I think that really the trick is that we just, we respect each other a lot, and we remember to just take a deep breath whenever our egos get, you know, wounded,
Right.
and you just got to be kind to each other and remember how lucky we are to get any of the good things that we get.
Yeah, yeah. The graciousness of it all, right? Just
Yeah.
keeping that composure of everything. That's amazing. Last question before we get out of here, and thank you guys so much for sharing all that with us. Personally, do you have any like little things that you're like, every day I have to get up and take a walk or read a book, or what do you do to settle your own mind and keep your personal life separate from your professional life to kind of keep yourself grounded?
You want to go first?
Yeah, and part of this goes into what a little bit back to the mental health thing. My mother's bipolar and depressed, a lot of depression and things like that. Her brother, who's my uncle, is dead now, but he was severely mentally ill, homeless a lot of his life and all this kind of thing. So it's right down Main Street in my family.
Right.
I don't really think I show much signs of that, and I don't think that's in my future, but I've got 2 kids. You worry about that. And so the things that I think that maybe this world right now we're living in, this generation of you know, there are a lot of things you can do. Video gaming is something I do every single day.
Yeah.
It is a bummer of a day I don't get to play a little video game. I usually do it right after I wake up. Have some coffee, go get some chill time,
Just
play a
zen
video
out,
game
yeah.
for an hour. Right now I'm stuck in a game called Overwatch when I'm home. It's on Xbox. Anybody knows that game knows why I'm stuck on it.
Yeah.
It's a terrific game. But I think it keeps your mind. I mean, I'm 54 years old. I'm so far more mentally pinging than what I think of as my parents were at their age. You know, they were a little bit more coasting in, and I think it's important. I mean, to stay up. This seems ridiculous not to know how this works, but I know a lot of people that are only like 10 years older than me that this is just a challenge. This is a
Right.
problem, and it's not a tool just to get. My dad, he no way wants to mess with this.
Right.
And then you ask about activities. After I video game, if things are going right and we have good weather, and I live in Dallas, and that's usual, I ride my bike around the lake, which is about 15 miles. So I get about a 15-mile bike ride. I come home, and then I walk around the house trying to
Yeah, there you go.
figure out
yeah.
what to do.
You get that brain going in the morning, and then you get your feet
then do
going.
something else.
Perfect.
Well, I like what Ken said about like kind of every day keeping your mind going, because I think it's so easy. We live in a culture where it's easy to just be a receptor, where you just could sit on a couch and look at a TV all day,
Right.
and I can see why that's useful at times to just check out, you know. But I feel like if your go-to move is to check out, and you find yourself spending so many hours a day just being a consumer, you know, of an audience member, that I just feel like there's not much agency in that. And so for me, I found that every single day I try to create something. The last few days I've got a friend who's making a movie and asked if I could try and write songs, and every day I've been writing a song, and that feels so great. I mean, every day's not like that, especially when I'm home. I got a couple of kids, but I feel like the work I do with them, there's a creative element to that because I'm helping them grow. I'm helping usher them to adulthood. That's maybe the greatest creative endeavor there is. And I just feel like if every single day you sort of are proactive about doing something that's positive and creative and bringing something new into existence that wasn't there when you woke up, that's gonna make me feel more alive and stay mentally healthy and younger. And I think it makes the world a better place.
Yeah, leaving your mark.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys so much for opening up and sharing with us. Where can everyone find you guys more? Are you Twitter people?
I'm all over Instagram. At Rhett Miller,
there you go.
And Twitter, Rhett Miller. The band has a really good active Facebook page, as does, I think, Bethea. You go listen to what crazy stuff he's on about.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're all over
Perfect.
the globe.
Yeah, everyone, this people know your name.
Yeah.
And yeah, congratulations on your years of successes, and we're so excited to watch you guys in just a few minutes. Thank you again. This has been JoAnn with Keep Oregon Well.